realizing that you tired of tussling. You tired of tussling in this marriage. You tired of the toxicity, of the back and forth, the struggle of power in this marriage. That's where I was at. That's where I was at. Now, this marriage is a marriage between me, myself, and I. Okay? And what I mean is my masculine and feminine energies. Everybody has them in them. And you don't realize that these two are in a sacred marriage and a little cool little dance. And when they not rocking well, it's not safe. It's not safe. So if you want to hear about that, continue watching. I'm Jacquie Renae, the girl who talks to herself so she can talk to you. So, as I said in our last video, I realized that I was in a dysfunctional relationship. And that dysfunctional relationship is between my masculine and feminine sides. When I broke my foot and I told you I was met with this, what is going on? What is going on here? I thought I had it. I thought everything was going well. I got the prompting and went full force ahead and went with it. But when I broke my foot, the first thing that kept coming to mind after I had did this whole breakdown of what did this mean? And the thing that just kept coming was, you need to chill. You need to slow down. You need to sit down somewhere. And I'm just like, how is it that? I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. I went full stream ahead and was getting down to it. But in all actuality, now I get it. In the beginning weeks of after this recovery and healing and things like that, I got that it wasn't that I was doing what I was on the path for wasn't wrong. It was how I was going about doing it. And I have a tendency to do this often. So, your feminine energy is about receptivity, is about flowing, is about allowing, right? Your masculine energy is more about action, getting things done, and a level of force, right? So when I started to go on this path to promote my coaching business and things like that, and like I said before, I had went into a couple of months of learning how to do social media, like really do social media, and not like as just a person absorbing social media, but now as a person who is using social media for a specific task or specific doing. So when I learned the information and then I decided to start implementing it into what I was doing, I left my feminine side behind. So my feminine side is my wisdom, is my connection to the divine, is my inner knowing, my intuition. And I got from my intuition what to do. But then when I got the information, I used the masculine side of me to put it in action and then totally dismiss my feminine side. So then I found myself in a very excessive masculine energy. I wasn't leaving time to continue to connect to my divine self, to continue to listen to my intuition, to get the lit path to what I was doing in my actions. I kind of just got the money and ran. And I feel like because for so long over the past few years I've wanted answers, I wanted direction. I spent like almost a year, almost 2 years, like I don't know, doing all kinds of things, like doing personal ceremonies, spiritual rituals and things like that to try to bring answers to me. But then I get the answer that I've been longing for, and then I totally ditch my homegirl that gave it to me. So when I say that my masculine and feminine energies were in a dysfunctional relationship, that's what I mean. These two energies are a part of everyone. And this is not, we're not talking about masculine and feminine in the sense of gender. We're talking about energies and the way they present in our lives. These energies, everybody possesses them. And like I said, it's, you're male and female. You have a mother and a father or whatever. And these two not working together is detrimental to your life. It's detrimental to how you create your life. It's detrimental to how you live your life. When we don't know about these things, a lot of the times the depression that we feel, the stagnation that we feel, the loss or disconnection to the world, relationships, life in itself, is due to the imbalance of this. It's the same thing like how some people say that when people have chronic depression, or chronic anxiety and all of those types of psychological, situations, they say it's a chemical imbalance or a hormonal imbalance and things like that. Well, this is the same thing. This is basically the same thing. It's just a deeper notion to it. So when these energies are unbalanced, these are like chemical imbalances. Well, you know what I mean. It's like that. They need to be regulated, and too much of one is not a good thing. So, excuse me. So, this is the thing. First of all, most people are totally unaware of these things. And sometimes I think we kind of cloak it in the sense of, well, I'm more like my father, and I'm more like my mom, or this part is like my father, this part like my mom. Sometimes we categorize certain things of ourselves and put them in the male and female figures in our family and our environment. But like I said, this is not about gender. It is about more than that. So the reason why, well, not the reason, but most of the time we don't even know about these energies at all. Okay, that's one. And then two, we're totally unaware of how to we don't even realize what we're operating from, because the feminine parts of ourselves they try to erase them. They've been removed from history. I mean, and it goes very far. And when I say that, I mean the understanding of a different spiritual side of us, because the feminine is more spiritual than the masculine. They're both very much, I'm still talking about spiritual, but the feminine has been removed from history. Everything has kind of been replaced with this male entity, this male God, this male version of everything, down to the fact that we're called man, how the word man is generalized for the whole like humankind in some sense. Excuse me. But like I said, it's been erased. And everything about that part of ourselves, what love truly is, it's all come from a male perspective. Our patriarchal society, how this hustle mentality, this concern and deeply obsession with money, control, fighting, and hoarding, just so many things. That was not done by mistake. That was an orchestrated event to get us to separate ourselves from the other parts of ourselves. We are not just humans. We are spiritual beings. There is something within us that is animating this that we don't have knowledge of as humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, as people, we don't have deeper knowledge of the other side of us, outside of going to the grocery store, buying a home, living the dream, and all of this stuff, like making your dreams come true, creating your life, all of that kind of stuff like that. But the way we were told how to do that is not really how it goes. There's just been a complete detachment from that. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm always really talking about the effects that it has on actual women. It has been a full-blown campaign to strip us of everything that connects us to the divine. We're not even realizing that we are a physical manifestation of the divine. You understand what I'm saying? So just knowing that we grew up in a society that thinks that this is how it's supposed to be ran, and it's ran in a space that only sees one side of ourselves, and we're totally disconnected to the other side. Now, the other side of us was always working, but it was sort of like working in a slave like fashion, just using you for your strength, your talents, your gifts, and someone else is benefiting from that. It's just been suppressed. Think of if you saw X-Men, Jean, and how that, I don't know which X-Men that was, but whatever that one was, where she was in the house and the professor was trying to continue to suppress her powers by telling her that he knew what was best for her, and I'm trying to help you. And she definitely knew at this point that no, you were trying to control me. I had all of this within me, and you cloaked my mind. You brainwashed me to believe that I was powerful, but I also wasn't smart enough. I wasn't what is the word? Wasn't strong enough to control and wield my power in the way that I needed it to be wielded. For some was best for me. You knew what was best for me. So that's basically how this is. So we've been living in this society and we have no idea to how to use our powers. You know what I mean? So when I found myself in a space of, and now I knew about these things, but it's very easy to go to what's most comfortable, and what's most comfortable is operating from a masculine energy, because this energy has been reigning in a very aggressive manner and not so nice. What do they call it? Utilitarian, whatever, but has been reigning for thousands of years at this point in time. So it's easy to get lost in it, even if you know or understand these things. But this is also a part of your spiritual development, the part of your spiritual maturity, not knowing the other side of you and being able to access the flow, the receptivity, the using your mind, using your emotional intelligence, connecting with earth, grounding, all of those types of things. When you don't have, or you don't understand those things, you don't know those things, and you're leaving a whole side of you out of your experience here on earth. And I do believe, honestly, if reincarnation is real and they say earth is a school, I imagine that you continue coming back here until you remember who you are, until you remember what you are. You know what I mean? So, which is very interesting, because I feel like we come here to forget and remember, because the vastness of what we are outside of these human bodies is not enough to be able to be computed by a human brain. So there's some things that have to be left out of the story when you come here, in order for you to assimilate to the plane, or the realm that you're in. And then on the way out, you kind of supposed to like come back to yourself in some sense. Anyway, but let me explain to you more in depth about masculine energies and feminine energies. So masculine energies are associated with certain qualities, and those are strength, assertiveness, independence, I can do it all by myself. You know what I mean? Getting things done and taking charge. So basically, it's the hustle mentality. Basically, it's I got this. I don't need no help. It's also the way we create routines, like a morning routine, the way we get on track. It's also a part of discipline, which there's nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of those qualities. What I'm talking about is when they become excessive, when you have to have a morning routine and you don't allow flow, or you don't allow spontaneity, or you don't allow, surrender to the day. You know what I mean? So that's what masculine energies are. And when they become excessive, it seems aggressive. And there's no room for any other ideas. There's no room for exploration because you're sticking to a plan. It's the reason why we think that certain things will bring about certain things, and it has to be done that way, you know? So feminine energy is about flow. It is about your intuition. It is about connection. It is about receptivity. It's about allowing, surrendering, and being open and expansion. It is about connection to other people, collaboration. That's the word. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about thinking about yourself. It is about thinking about others. It is about a collective. It is about opening up to your spiritual self. Like, it's more than just being a girl, like a gender. Like, it's just more. It's just more than that. It's just more than that. It's also connected to having a sense of purpose. And like I said, I have, in my last video, I was just talking about how I have struggled with figuring out what my purpose was, and being as though I didn't come from an upbringing of exploration. I didn't come from an upbringing of having or creating time for hobbies, interests, likes and dislike. I'm the oldest child. I was definitely pitted with having to take care of my younger siblings. So I didn't start exploring anything that I thought that of like or interest until I was in my 30s, in my late 30s at that. And I appreciate how in those times I really did allow myself to explore. I went into areas of information that I was not I didn't know anything about, and through anybody that I knew would have been looked at as like, you're not allowed to, like, you know what I mean? So like, I went down a rabbit hole about a whole lot of things. So yeah, that feminine energy is about that. And like, when I was saying that my feminine and masculine energies were in a dysfunctional relationship, is because I wasn't allowing them to live harmoniously. I wasn't allowing them to have a healthy marriage. And I think we do that a lot. And unbeknownst to ourselves, we tend to want to work hard, do everything hard and aggressive, and go for it and go. And we don't realize that softness is not an opposing part to hard, but another section of hard. Because how can you identify hard if you didn't know what soft was? And how do you identify soft if you didn't know what hard was? So they work together, and they're just different degrees, and they all have their turn. Like, people like soft eggs and people like hard eggs. Still an egg, just different degrees of different states of that egg. So now I know that in order to move forward in a way that is psychologically and mentally healthy for myself, I have to learn these key markers as to when I'm imbalanced. And like I said, I didn't realize that I was, because I had a nice stretch of feeling completely lost. A nice stretch of feeling like, okay, I can't get up not one more damn day and live this life because I don't have no direction. Like, where am I going? What am I doing? I didn't want to start again and fail. I didn't want to experience fail or pain or anything. Like, I was just over it. I was just over it. And I didn't realize that a part of that is being imbalanced and my feminine energy not flooding me or being able to express itself or flow through me like I needed it to, because I thought that I was supposed to be doing. And even if I was doing something or not doing something, I felt guilty about it. Like, it's so crazy how you would think these things would be taught to you. And it's crazy because it's not taught to you in school, and a lot of time it's not taught to you at home. It can't be taught to you at home only because your parents don't know. Your parents don't know. Like I said, this whole brainwash effect of disconnecting you from your feminine side has been done for thousands of years at this point in time. So it's very hard to even recognize these things showing up in your life. And the fact that I knew about those things, but like I said, the familiarity, you know what I mean? I never can get that word right. I don't even know why I tried to get it out. But that the familiarity of how I operated in an excessive manner to my masculine energy took over, because that is the stronger program within me. And like I said, it's a dysfunctional relationship. It is a toxic relationship. This is why everybody's running around here talking about toxic masculinity. Now, I don't know I think they're going more of the gender, but deeply into that, it's more than just a gender. It's an actual way that people are learning to express themselves in this physical world. And a lot of us have been brainwashed. A lot of us have been raised to operate in an excessive male manner, masculine energy manner. It's the reason why women were like, if you can do it, I can do it better. Why women were yelling, I can do the same thing as you. Why women have been okay with saying that they're the mother and the father of a child. Like, just so many things. And it's one of the reasons why, they claim that Black women cannot be submissive and do this and do that, which is ridiculous. But I can't even get into all of that. But it's one of the reasons why women show up the way we do. Even when we got dresses, makeup, and all of that kind of stuff on, we still operate from a masculine point of view, unbeknownst to us. So I just wanted to talk about that, because there needs to be more attention to this, because like I said earlier in the video, it's a chemical imbalance. It's a chemical imbalance down to the atomic and molecular structure, cell structure. We are totally teetering. Now, the difference now is, I will say this, that there's been a change on the planet, and I feel like overall, probably more than like the past 5 years, about the maybe about 4, like maybe 4 years. Over the last like 4 years, there's been a surge in people reconnecting with this alien side of them, reconnecting to their divine feminine, to their sacred feminine, and males and females. And that means to find a more loving nature, to find a more peaceful nature. And it's showing up in so many things, like people going vegan, starting gardens, all of these women retreats, women empowerments, and all of those kinds of things. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of that is all about money, but a lot of it it's rooted in seeing a trend. And that trend is the need for togetherness, the need for peace, the need for flow, the need for inner guidance, the need to grow up spiritually. These things are very important, and this species has lived a little bit too long without it. And when they say that we're going to destroy the planet and we can't keep up, the way we live is not sustainable. It's true. Living anything, too much of anything is bad. You know what I mean? And how they say everything in moderation. This is the same thing. Like each side of you, everybody, it needs to be in moderation. It needs to be in moderation. And at this point, one of the duties of the people who are deciding to embrace this sacred feminine within them, the duty is not to exile the masculine side. Because let me tell you something, when I first got into this a few years ago, your girl was pissed. It's like somebody woke me up and took me out the motherfucking dungeon, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know I was in a dungeon. I ain't even know. I ain't even know. It's like people waking up and not even realizing they was asleep. That's what this is like. This is the reason why so many things are being revealed. Pedophilia, molestation, horrible food, what they've been poisoning the people with slowly, sex trafficking, abuse. All of these things are being revealed because what goes on in the dark comes to the light. Okay? That baby is in that dark, but it will be born sooner or later. You understand what I'm saying? You may be overdue by a week or two, but it's coming out. Like it's coming out. So our duty for the ones who are embracing this alien side of us, this feminine, this goddess, this dark goddess, this light goddess, this all shadow work, all of this kind of stuff like this, the duty is to use what we've learned responsibly and to understand that there is still a divinity to the masculine. There still is, and always will be, room and space for both sides of you. But have your upset, honey. Have your upset. Because one thing about it is that divine feminine, she ain't only light and love, honey. She's kill and motherfucking destroy as well. Okay? And that is the whole thing about the veil coming down. That is the whole thing about, like, oh, you've been doing us dirty. You've been doing us dirty. You've been doing me dirty while I've been down there in the dungeon. Oh, okay. You took over my life. Oh, okay. Oh, and you used me because I was the power. I was the power behind all of this. But you was wielding that power in an unnatural, unsanctified, in a way that was not conducive for my kids, for my people. I got you. I got you. She is the real justice. Okay? So, don't play with her. Don't play with her. So, yeah, she loves you. Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you. But I'm still going to dig in that ass. Dig in that ass. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Fido, I love you. I love you, baby. But you're still pissed on my carpet. And we're going to have to handle that. We're going to have to handle that. You shit on my rug. We're going to have to handle that. We're going to have to handle that. Newspaper, please. Tap, tap, tap. You can still come in the house. I'm going to still feed you. I'm going to still do. But no mas. So, just remember that connecting to this, if you can cut through the fog, if you can cut through the noise, if you can cut through the density of what is you, you will realize that there is an ancestral thing waking up in your cells. And there's this book. I got to get the book. I'm about to go get the book. Hold please. All right, so I think it's this one. Now I tried to look for where in this book. I'm not sure who gonna watch this, honey, but this is for the advanced, okay? This is very much for the advanced, but I would not say don't get a book that you do not understand. You'll be able to understand it later if this is a part of the realm of study that you're into. This book is decoding the hieroglyphs, and it's just talking about, I guess, the same way it is in the Bible when they kind of insinuate Jesus coming back again. But this is older, they're decoding something older than the Bible, okay? And it has a lot to do with quantum physics. It has a lot to do with cells. It has a lot to do with DNA. First and foremost, it has a lot to do with DNA. So the point I'm trying to make is there's something in your DNA. There's DNA within you. There's cells within you that have gone dormant, okay? And at a specific time when the sun starts to change, like global warming, when the sun starts to change in specific people, everybody, but it's a little bit more specific people, this DNA starts to awaken. So when something is laid dormant, as you understand, dormant does not mean gone or left. It just means really, really sleep, okay? And there is something that can open up, awaken, and not have it dormant no more. Like I said, they can pull your ass up out the dungeon, okay? So it was saying that we have a vast amount of information in that DNA, in those cells, that at some point in time, this is how they decoded the hieroglyphs, was going to wake up. In far, far time. And ladies and gentlemen, we are living in that time. Okay? And that sleeping DNA is the sacred feminine. It is the sacred feminine. It is the matriarch. It is the mother. It is she. It is her. It is I. It is us. You know what I mean? Like, it was going to wake up. It's one of the things that if you understand, like, if you're on social media, dang, I really don't know where I was going with that. But you know what? I never hang up on those types of things. I don't say hang up on those type of things. I just believe that maybe that wasn't supposed to, wherever I was going, maybe that wasn't supposed to be said. But anyway, the time is now. The time is now. The time has been budding. I don't know when it's going to hit its peak. But it's going to keep getting hotter. It's going to keep getting hotter. And if you believe in as above, as above, as above, so below, as within, so without, then you know that whatever the sun is doing, that is happening within you. and you're heating up. You're heating up, and you're expanding. You are expanding, and if you're willing to open yourself up to it and heal your sacred masculine and embrace your sacred feminine, then you might be able to have a harmonious marriage within yourself. And I think one of the ways that we can definitely do that is unlearning as much as you can, and unlearn as much as you can, because the conditioning and the brainwashing was obsessive and excessive and a lot. And yeah, it's time to remember who you are. It's time to remember who you are. Dang, I really do wish I remembered why I was going there about that. I felt like that was interesting. But anyway, pay attention to the markers. And within the video, I'm going to have like things that I didn't say up on the screen, so you can know a little bit more about that. But I've now decided to be more aware than I thought I was before on how these two energies are working in my life. I have no choice. I don't want to break another foot, or worse. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. Ask some questions if you want. And yeah, that's all. Just sharing my journey, talking. And like I said, I'm Jacquie Renae, the girl that talks to herself so she can talk to you. See ya.